I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilmember Blue,
Present.
Kathy,
Present.
Fallon,
Present.
Miller,
Here.
Wood,
Here.
Mayor Cramblett. Excused.
Yes. Yep.
Thank you.
Any additions or amendments to the agenda?
I'd like to remove 5B. The agreement has not been approved by the city attorney. I was hoping to get it done. It was a tight turnaround, but have not gotten it yet.
All right, adoption of the consent agenda with the amendment to remove 5B.
Yeah, we voted, so,
We did vote on
and
that.
the approval of minutes.
Make a motion to approve the adoption of the consent agenda, the approval of October 24th, 2022 city council minutes, and the ratification of the bills in the amount of $351,905.01.
And the removal of 5B.
A second.
All right, roll call. Full vote.
Councilmember Blue,
Aye.
Kathy,
Aye.
Fallon,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Wood.
Aye.
Next on the agenda, approve of the Windsong Terrace Phase 1 HOA extension request.
So if you remember at the last meeting, the residents of Windsong Terrace wanted to ask for an extension to May 31st of 2023 to form the HOA. I ran it through our attorney, and he is comfortable with giving that approval. They have shown good faith in forming it by coming to us and talking to us about what they've been doing and their struggles in getting formed. So that is good faith progress in the eyes of our attorney. So he recommends accepting that extension.
I have a question. I had suggested at the last meeting, I'm not against doing the extension for them, but I wanted to make sure that we didn't allow this individual to do phase 2 until he followed through with this phase 1 HOA.
Okay.
That way it's on that, it would maybe get him to do it a little quicker for these people. Give them a vested interest like they have.
I concur.
So complete the phase 1 HOA before moving on to phase 2.
But I think we might have a problem with that too, with the fact that he's already been allowed to move out of it.
I think in our minutes, Gordon talked about he was in the process of talking with him about it to address that. And then Jordan, you're gonna be, sounds like you're gonna be better up on that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I would make a motion that we have the guy that was supposed to do the HOA in phase 1 before he begins development on phase 2, that he complete phase 1 HOA requirements.
We know they didn't.
That's what Gordon told us that he hasn't. Yeah, he told us he
They-
hadn't. That's why he started the letter and all that. There's that.
Right. But your motion is different. from
That's
the
Dan
extension.
Weisner.
Yeah, it is different than
Yeah.
an extension.
Yes, I believe it's Dan Weisner.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Should we maybe provide a motion for the extension? So we're not hurting the folks at Windsong, but we follow up with Mr. Phase 2 and let them know that you gotta get that locked in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That sounds reasonable. So
So I'll make a motion to accept the residents of Windsong Terrace Phase 1's request to extend the deadline to create an HOA from December 12th, 2022 to May 31st, 2023.
I second it.
Roll vote.
Councilmember Blue.
Aye.
Happy,
I'm abstaining.
Fallon,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Wood,
Aye. It looks like the approval of Windsong Terrace Phase 1 HOA extension request has been granted.
Do we expect to see Windsong Terrace 2 developer in front of council at any point?
Couldn't answer that one, but I can reach
Fair
out.
enough.
I think he would more than likely appear before the planning commission.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I did make a motion, so do we finish that motion?
yeah, well, we can go back to that one, yeah.
additional,
You want to restate your motion, just so we,
Yeah, my motion is that, what was the guy's name again?
Dan Weiss.
Dan Weisner, complete the HOA in phase 1 of Windsong Terrace before he's allowed to begin phase 2. And be noted that on phase 2, that we make sure all these things are done, so we don't hit this again.
I second.
Roll vote.
Can we have a discussion on that? I mean,
Yes.
I do have a conflict of interest here, but I wonder, is this something we maybe need to run past the city attorney before we proceed to vote on a motion? It seems like it's very straightforward, but is there something legally that maybe we don't?
Could we pass it and then have it checked by the city attorney? Make sure it's legal.
That was sort of my idea, of just passing the original one, make sure we have the folks up in Windsong taken care of.
Yeah.
And then let's follow up with, I assume he's gonna need to get in front of us at some point in time, or the planning commission, and it might be that point in time where we have a nice long discussion about things. We're gonna have a lot of trouble moving forward if we don't have the last project finished,
Mhm.
So like we're just asking him to
you know.
Just do, yeah.
Yeah.
What he's
Before
supposed
you
to
move
do.
forward. Any other discussion?
It's a good point though, Pete.
Kathy made a note. I don't know if y'all saw that in the chat. She says 2 separate land use cases can't hold up phase 2. So I think, it's definitely, I think is why we need to talk to the attorney to make sure that we understand the implications of that. But it seems super straightforward, and it makes logical sense that unless this is done, you can't do that. But from what Kathy's saying, it sounds like that might be difficult.
Maybe it needs to be reworded a bit.
Mhm.
Attorneys are good at that.
Yes, they are. They're very good at that.
And I think the overall intention of what we're trying to communicate is what we need to talk to the attorney about. We don't want to end up in this situation again, and we want the issue with phase 1 taken care of. And we feel like the person that's responsible for that is the developer.
So we're looking to resolve it before we move on to
Yeah.
phase 2.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit different what we need to do.
yeah, I think what Kathy's saying.
You want me to withdraw my motion?
Yeah.
I
And
will withdraw my motion to require Windsong phase 1 HOA be formed before Windsong phase 2 can be started.
Well, the only challenge with that is I think they're trying to work so there won't be an HOA 1 and a HOA 2. They might work so it's
It is, well,
Yeah.
this guy really needs to come see us and talk to us, because all the people from Windsong 1's been here. And
Right.
he's proceeding on with his phase 2. And
You do have in here that he's exploring options to assist with the formation of the HOA, so you've been in contact with him, or that's.
I have not personally talked to him.
Okay.
yeah,
But yeah, he's looking at options ranging from the 2 parcels of question, pulling them into the phase 2 HOA
right,
and dissolving phase 1 of any responsibility of those 2 parcels.
right.
Or doing one large HOA. I don't know what direction it's going, but that's what I've been told, so, as options. I can reach out to them.
And I definitely think whenever they're talking options, they should have like the people that are of phase one talking to them, because
Yeah,
my understanding from the people that come here and sit before us, they're not interested in being in an HOA with phase two.
Correct.
They want their own
Right.
little thing if it's gonna be.
like we're having 3 separate conversations.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I feel like it was a breakdown in communication that brought this to the city council. That shouldn't have ever been something that came to the city council. It should have been addressed between the city and the developer and the residents. And hopefully we can improve communication so that way the phase two goes much smoother.
All right. So motion's been withdrawn. And Jordan, you're gonna follow up with.
Yeah, I'll reach out to Dan.
Great, yeah,
I don't know if we'll have an answer by next council meeting, but I'll reach out.
thank you. Approve support for the OMA homeless capital project request.
So a couple of you had reached out to me today about this. This is different from the one from last meeting. That one was project-based. This one is capital project-based. So the other one was renting hotel rooms for homeless versus building a hotel for homeless people. I don't see us ever needing to actually build a capital project. I could be wrong. But I wanted to present it to you and see if you want to provide your support to. The second half of the email in the packet kind of lays out what the project is. If we do want to support it, they're asking for kind of rough ideas of how much money we'd ask and what project. But again, I'm in my not still being new here, struggling kind of what capital projects we would need.
From my understanding, it's not, they're looking for a letter of support from the
Correct.
cities. But the proposals states that funds must be used for homeless response and prevention. They're not saying we have to build anything. So that's if they lobby and if they get any money for all the cities, we can use it for abatement, cleanup, and I know we have quite a bit of room for improvement for cleanup, environmental mitigation, affordable housing. They give you a whole
Wait,
list.
so that's for the one presented last council.
Okay.
The chunk we really want to look at is the last 2 paragraphs on the second page of the email, where it talks about the capital projects.
Mhm.
And they're expecting, well, I guess, last 3 paragraphs, they're thinking $125 to $175 million based on what answers we give them. Look at the last paragraph, some cities have submitted things like 250,000 for portable showers/toilets, or 2.5 million to build a navigation center, so it's really anywhere in between.
Right.
I'm not just reading that out loud, navigation center, we need a new city hall.
Mhm.
Or rebuild this
Right.
ones.
Right.
If we can rope that in there maybe, but.
Right, and this is page 2 of the
Of that
email that I
correct.
just read,
Yeah,
so they coincide.
Yes, yeah,
So, they're not separate, but, so basically, everything that I've read in this, they're not saying we have to build a homeless shelter.
no,
They're not saying.
no, and it's not, even if we tell them, yes, we want the money, here's our idea, we're not committed to it. In
Exactly,
any way, shape, or form.
exactly. It seems like there's quite a bit of leniency on how, if it goes through,
Mhm.
and how we could spend the
Exactly.
funds.
And that may change when legislature, I always struggle with that word. When they
Right.
write it and give out the money, they may put stipulations on it, but we're just asking for general support. Or
Correct.
OCCMAs, or no, which one is this?
Correct.
Oregon Mayor's Association, too many associations.
Yes, okay, yeah, exactly. Any discussion?
So they're asking basically for $300 million for both projects.
I believe between the 2, yes.
Yeah. But they don't have They're asking the state for the money, but they're not telling us how they think the state should raise the money. Who they gonna tax to get it?
For the state to decide.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. They're not proposing how the state should get it. I think they leave a lot of unanswered questions with it.
Any other comments? Is there a motion to approve support for the OMA homelessness capital project request? I can make a motion, right? Yes or no?
You can, so it's actually in my report. You
Okay.
can, but then you have to hand over presiding over the matter to somebody else.
Okay.
So you wouldn't, running this current discussion would go to somebody else.
All right.
Yeah.
So, right,
You have to, and that's where
okay.
it's kind of sticky. You essentially have to ask Brenda, would you want to preside over this current matter? There isn't really a clear rules or procedure on how to make that transfer over.
Right.
But whoever takes it over then can't second. They have to run the matter.
All right,
Yeah,
so Brenda, you want to run the matter?
I don't mind.
Okay.
I don't mind.
All right. Well, I'm gonna make a motion to approve the support letter for the OMA homeless capital project request.
Is there a second?
Keith's on mute.
He's talking, we can't hear you.
Keith, you're on mute.
Sorry, Zoom, gotta unmute myself. I did not get, or I didn't see a packet. And so I have a hard time following, I guess, the issue here. If someone could summarize it for me, what's the issue? It seemed like that it wasn't clearly defined what these funds were gonna be used for. Is that what was going on, Butch? Seemed like you had some hesitation with this.
I have hesitation because it's a $300 million proposal that they're asking for these two phases. And all they say is we're gonna ask the state for money. And there's no proposal on how, or from them to the state on how to acquire the money. So what sort of taxes are gonna be added to the people to get it? Now, where is this money coming from?
And I think that, so the issue you have is really just where that's not clear in their request. Because they're,
Yeah.
and who is it that's making this request that's asking for support?
Yeah, it's a lack of information.
League of Oregon Cities.
Did you hear that, Pete? League of Oregon Cities.
League of Oregon Cities is asking for support for this initiative, and they're asking for $300 million from the state. Is that correct?
Correct. And they are paying for the research and whatnot. They're not passing on the costs to the city to propose.
And then what would those funds be used for?
There are different projects, for homelessness response. It can be abatement, cleanup. It's not requiring you to build a structure. It gives quite a bit of leeway if it even passes.
Yeah, it's
So
just
I know
asking for
there's-
support. Yeah,
Right, they're
I mean,
just
it's
asking for a letter of support.
got it. And to Butch's point, they don't specify where the money's coming from because they're just saying, we'd like $300 million. Would you say, are you supportive of this request? Where the money comes from will be determined at a later date. They're just asking for support from small communities, municipalities that are part of the League of Oregon Cities for them to make this request to the state of Oregon. Is that right?
That's correct.
Correct. They're just,
And
they're gonna be one of many requests that the state of Oregon is going to be bombarded with asking for questions or for funds.
And this is the second time homelessness has come up relatively recently. I think it was just our last meeting we were talking about this. And I think that this is really reflecting the fact that we had that ballot recently about what were the top priorities of our communities in the state of Oregon. Homelessness is one of those issues that was identified by most of the cities in the state of Oregon as being a top priority. And I think that's why we're seeing the League of Oregon Cities asking for support for these initiatives, because homelessness is such a rampant problem across the state. So I just wanted to, I think it's important to highlight the bigger picture, why this issue is coming up, why they're asking for the support, and kind of what the overall intention is from my perspective.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to,
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All right, you want to do a roll call?
Okay. Councilmember Blue,
Aye.
Cappy,
Aye.
Fallon,
Aye.
Miller,
No.
Wood,
No.
so it passes.
So it did pass to approve support for OMA homelessness capital project request.
I will send a response to OMA.
You include that letter in our next packet. Did you send them? You send them a letter of support, I assume? right?
Yes, yeah, they want it by the 23rd for that email. But
Or just email it, if it's like.
yeah, I can send that forward.
Appreciate it,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right, number 6, appearance of interested citizens to share a variety of perspectives on issues facing our community.
There's a lack thereof.
Well, somebody might be on Zoom. I don't see any hands raised. All right, thank you. Reports and presentations, city committees.
No city committee reports at this time.
All right, next on the agenda is Hood River County Library Family Movie Nights.
Hi there, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Hi, thank you so much for having me. My name is Yeli. I'm the librarian over there at the Hood River County Library. I also am a community member here in Cascade Locks. I work at the Cascade Locks Library, and we are working with the Cascade Locks Elementary in order to provide more community activities and events. And we are going to host in December on the 17th and January 7th, we're doing movie nights for the community, and it's free. We're going to provide hopefully an early dinner, which would be pizza from the Cascade Locks Ale House, drinks and additional snacks, plates, and napkins. And we're asking for the city support, which comes out to, for 2 nights, $316. We're also going to be part of the December 3rd community celebration. And we're also asking for an additional $150 for cookies and frosting. And these are all ages, open to the entire community events.
Yeah,
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, what was the second one, the 150, what event is that for?
That is the community celebration on December 3rd. I think it's like the scavenger hunt where families are going to come, and there's going to be each location that they visit from 3 to 5 p.m. And then the celebration in the evening happens after that, I think, and cookies, I think, at the hotel. But we're going to be one of the stops, and so families will have the opportunity, or folks come into the library and decorate cookies and have some music and probably take home an activity, but the library is going to sponsor that.
Okay. So you're asking for a total of $466?
Yes, correct.
Great, thank you. Jordan, do we have a balance on where we're at in the community fund?
I couldn't tell you.
It was,
We had,
this last year, we had used it all. Because we actually took $1,500 or something out of next year's travel fund, or our last year's travel fund.
I know we used up everything up until July 1st. But then we're on a new budget, so I don't know
We're on a new budget.
what's,
We
I don't
haven't
know
passed
what's
it.
less. What's left.
Are there any plates and stuff left from the community picnic that we could be sharing?
All that stuff was, we went through a lot, and there was a little bit left, and it went to the fire department. There were some open packages, and we didn't have anything sealed.
Yeah. I would like to, personally, I would like to see what we have left for sure, before making any decisions. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, of course.
The $150 is for the night of the 3rd, December 3rd, where kids can come and decorate cookies? Is that what that's for?
It is for, let me pull it up. I just saw the posting for it. 1 second, bear with me. Or better yet, let me just pull up my email.
So is the money not, is this activity not happening at the library or perhaps happening somewhere else?
No. This activity is, so we're going to be one of the stops. So I know that there's the holiday marketplace happening at the Cascade Elementary that is being put on by the Cascade PTO. And then from 3 to 5, there's going to be a scavenger hunt with a bunch of local businesses downtown, and the library being one of those stops where folks can come in and do an activity, which is decorating, frosting the cookies. And then additionally, taking home a holiday craft.
And then on December 4th, we have the Santa Social here in the City Hall as well, where there's cookies and punch
So
and
we're not,
crafts and all of that.
the Santa Social's not asking the city for any money.
I understand that. I'm just saying there's a lot of activities going within 2 days of each other. I'm not saying that's not okay. That's not what I was saying. I was just, pointing out there's like a lot of activities and a lot of parents maybe not want their kids to have all that sugar is what I was thinking. But just on the parents' side, I'm a grandma, so I really don't care about sugar, but
I think it's hard to approve funds if we don't know where we are at in the checkbook. So our next meeting will be the 28th. So it'd be before the event.
yeah.
So, but it's hard to plan, so it doesn't give a whole lot of days, but.
I think if we just wanted to stick with, you all are a little bit unsure, we could just stick with the movie nights. We could always look for donations. I just thought that I'd add that to the list of items or list of activities that we're going to be hosting. But yeah.
When's the movie night?
The movie night, we moved it to the 17th and January 7th. So that's 2 movie nights.
I'm not sure if y'all can hear me. Sorry to interrupt, but there are a couple of things that came up in the chat that not sure if everybody saw. And Kathy asked if local businesses have been asked, and Yelly, I'm just paraphrasing here, responded that they hadn't asked yet and wanted to ask here first. And Kathy chimed in to say that Gorgeous Beer called and asked the city how they could participate in the holiday events. I think that the movie nights are just such an amazing community event, bringing families together. And I think that the concern is really just the cost and associated with holding those events is not just falling on the city. I think that's why maybe Butch was asking who else was involved with this. and who else, helping to fund it. But I think that the intention is great, and we really are grateful that you guys are hosting these events and continuing them through the winter.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would
Oh,
like to.
go ahead.
I would like to wait and see kind of where we're at in the budget. And then I think we can make an informed decision. None of us are against it, supporting the community, but we've got to find out where we are in the budget.
How much did we come under budget for the community event?
We spend it all.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
I thought I saw a thing that had.
We budgeted 3,000 and we came in at 2,173.
All right,
That's
what I thought.
Just like to see where we're at.
But when we gave money to the PTO, we had to reach into something else to get that money.
That is true. I think that's why we need a checkup, because everyone's not on the same page of where we are in the budget. And I think it would be wise to know exactly where we are in the checkbook. Yeah. Kelly, does that sound okay?
Yep, that sounds great with me. You have my email, or if you'd like for me to come back, please just go ahead and let me know.
All right, great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. Have a good night.
Thank you. All right, City Administrator Bennett report.
So I tried to keep it to one page, didn't happen. First item, the Dry Creek Road booster pump. Half of the electrical work has been done, the pump itself has been wired. There is a hothouse or shelter thing for it that has been ordered, shipped on Friday the 11th. Not sure when exactly it'll be here, but once it's here, it will be wired in and then tested and up and running. So hopefully when we meet in 2 weeks, I can say it's done. I crossed off my list.
All right.
The Venture / Wanapa fire hydrant was installed on October 27th and obviously tested, good to go, it's all set. The fire department's emergency management services new medic unit ambulance arrived. $140,000 bought from Monroe Fire. It was arrived on November 3rd. Chief Logan is working on getting decals updated and it's stocked with the proper equipment. It is funding through ARPA, which you guys pre-approved. I'm not sure back when, but it's about $250,000 or so. So he's using that to get it up and running. So once it's up and running, it will become our first out unit, and the second out unit will be sold or surplus in whatever manner. Or I'm not quite sure what our proper manner is, but it'll be surplus properly. League of Oregon's elected officials essential workshop. I think I left the word out there. They will be here in Cascade Locks December 14th. They will do one for elected officials. It's all day. And then there is a separate workshop for newly elected mayors from 6 to 8. In with the report is a flyer for it. You will need to get a hold of them directly to register for it. I just want to make sure it was on everybody's radar. December council meeting is December 26th, is the fourth Monday. We're closed for Christmas. Does council, we can wait till after the report to discuss. Does council want to reschedule or cancel that meeting? Item number 6, we discussed this earlier. If the presiding officer or mayor would like to motion or make a second, they have to pass on presiding over the matter to somebody else. That transition is a little messy, but I think the way you handled it, asking somebody is probably the best bet. And it's outlined in our council procedures as well. Section 6.1 line B. Financial statements. So kind of the discussion we just had. As you're probably aware, council has not been presented financial statements for going on a year and a half now, which obviously is not acceptable. Dave Peterson, the new finance director, new-ish, he's been here 5 months, is working to get caught up. On the top of the second page is an outline of a plan to get July, August, and September financial statements presented the second meeting in January. The October, November in February, December, January, and March, and then finally caught up with February, March, and April. So he's kind of trying to do really 2 jobs at once, keeping our current books up to date and catching up with past books. So we're getting there.
Curious.
Yeah, he's got a plan. He's a bright guy who knows what he's doing. I'm gonna get out of his way. On that note, the 21-22 audit, Finance Director Peterson has requested an extension from December 31st to June 30th. He's already reached out to our auditors and the Secretary of State's office. Item number 9, City Hall parking lot, a discussion that just came up this week. Mainly concerned with snow. We have had people in the past parking in our lot overnight for non-City Hall related businesses. When our public works crew gets here at 4 in the morning to plow and there's a car in the way, they can't plow, which hinders us as staff and residents serving us. Our solution was to put up some signs and get signs from River Edge Towing, but we wanted to run it by council before we went forward. Kind of figured towing people from City Hall premises should probably be something approved by council first. Number 10 is a council retreat. From my understanding, the hour before the second January meeting had been a goal setting session of 1 hour. Given that I am new, our finance director is new this year. Looks like we're gonna have a slate of new council members. I thought it'd be best to have either a half day or even a full day retreat for us to really get together, review what the city's been doing, how we've met our goals, what goals we want to set for the next year, maybe even the next 5 years, so we can really, as a city, move forward to better serve our residents. We want to put that bug in your ear, doesn't need to be decided now. Again, with the new council members on, if they come on, I know it's not official yet, work with them to set that date. And then last, paramedic recruitment, Chief Logan completed recruitment review of applicants. He is recommending, and I support hiring a current volunteer. I don't want to give out any names since we're not in executive session, but I wanted to get your approval moving forward.
I would say that on the positions that we hire for, if you're actually looking for us to approve of a hire, so at least let's take a look at job descriptions. So that if you've approved it and if you've seen job description, it fits with what your approval is. Obviously, you're qualified to give your approval behind it, but it'll make me feel better to approve your approval. If I know, if I can see what the job description is, I know that they sort of fit within that, but.
Yeah.
That's stuff that was on my list.
On number 10, the 2 vacant, I like that. You moving the goal setting session, I think that makes a lot of sense. On the signs for the parking, do we need to buy signs or we can just get River's Edge to print up some of theirs?
We'll have to buy signs, both that from River, we have to have a River Edge sign for them to come tow it. But I wanted a separate sign that says for city business only, because all our sign says is customer parking only. And I wanted to be a little more specific. So I didn't want to move forward with any more staff time or money without your approval. So I can mock up a sign and get a quote.
I think you're probably capable of doing a no parking sign. I think we're good there. Me personally, so you're probably fine doing a no parking sign. Number 5 was moving, not having it on Christmas or on the 26th. That probably seems like something we can talk about right now, right?
Yeah,
If your guys aren't open, I certainly don't want to be here on the 26th.
No.
so a lot of people are gonna be out of town, so
Mhm.
no use.
Did you want to cancel it or reschedule?
Cancel.
Cancel.
Yeah.
I think we're okay to cancel it all.
Is that the fire hydrant you've been
Yes.
I was like scoring thumbs. I feel like Jordan held that back and was like, here's the gift, young man. That's awesome. That's awesome.
All right. So mayor and city council comments. Brenda, you want to go first?
Yeah, thanks on the fire hydrant. And Dry Creek, those poor people, but hopefully in 2 weeks we'll be able to celebrate that one. And when we're looking at the budget, I want to put on the radar, I reached out to the fire hall, to John, and they have a hood and a stove that needs to be wired.
Yes.
So if we can get a bid or whatever, so we can take care of them guys, that would be great. And then, let's see. And then on the community picnic, I'm glad we got that. And I thought, and council, please correct me if I'm wrong, I thought that we were caught up on our financials and everything, and that we had no problems, that's why we could let Mary Ann step out when we did. Am I mistaken, did I miss something?
They haven't, the financials we get, and correct me if I'm wrong, the financials we get, it just says what we spend. But to my knowledge, we haven't had basically like, here's where we are on the budget, like a check-in on that.
Right, but we were all up to date with our audit and stuff, is that not correct? And then Mary Ann offered to stay for the audit and was asked not to make sure that this was all, since most of that work was her work. So I guess, the extension, and we gotta do what we gotta do, but just so, I'm sure Dave's doing a good job and all that, but that's just kind of brought up red flags to me, because I thought we were good to go, because we were good to let Mary Ann go and save that money to only ask for extensions and all of this, so I guess I'm a little confused. And then I think that is all I have. I want to thank the lady from the library for coming and asking and all that, and Forest Lane, I can't forget Forest Lane, it is on my list. Speeding cars and all of that, I don't know what to say. We need to figure out a solution, I don't know what it is. I would like, if you could check and see if we could post signs, since we're talking about posting signs, if we can get Jake brake signs, because usually in city limits, Jake brakes, engine brakes is what they call them in this trucking world. And there's laws against them within city limits. We can't, at least can't we get a sign to post so they'll quit using them, maybe, but because our whole thing with Forest Lane and not putting speed bumps, not lowering the speed limit and not putting them signs is because we have no way to enforce it. Well, that's a shame that that's our excuse for not doing anything about Forest Lanes. We have no enforcement. We need to do something about Forest Lane. And I'm done, thank you.
All right, thank you. Butch, you're next.
All right, first off, I want to get this out of the way before you become mayor. And it's some criticism over this last 2 years. And it's, hopefully you will take it in the right way, that to grow and become a good mayor. But there was a couple of things that really bothered me. And one was back when we were working on Mary Ann's retirement deadline and extending it. And we developed a policy. And when we did that, you told staff that what was brought forward, what they did was unethical. That showed no respect to staff. And even after Gordon explained that The policy that we adopted was already in use by the city of Tualatin. And it had been approved by our city attorney. Your answer to that was, with all due respect, you disagreed with it. When I went through the LOC training in Hermiston, one of the classes I went through was on communication. They said, people that say with all due respect, what they're replying to you is screw you, I don't believe what you say. So I think that phrase needs to be just completely dropped out of our language. And then we came to replacing Bobby. And you accused the council of not following public meetings laws. Brenda knew what the public meetings laws were. She stuck to it. She did not violate them. The rest of the council did not violate them. But you showed disrespect to the council by making the accusations. They were unfounded. And neither of those have we received apologies for, the staff or us. And just recently, Mr. Stephen King was presenting a proposal to the port on a data center in our industrial area. When I read it and saw the paperwork on it, and I saw proposal on the top and saw that it was for a real-time property negotiation, I was kind of wondering, why is this even in public meeting? It should have been in an executive session, but it was in public meeting. You took an adversarial questioning to Mr. King in the first meeting, and you actually went into asking him about financials, which was completely out of line. And at that time, President Groves had to basically stop the meeting and suspended all questioning and closed that meeting. And then when it came back to a economic development subcommittee meeting, you continued your line of questioning to where Mr. King he tossed in the towel. And he said he would not be pursuing this project in Cascade Locks any longer. That just costs this city thousands and thousands of dollars from the electrical work and monies that we would receive. I sit in on a lot of court meetings. And basically when I'm there, I'm just a fly on the wall because I'm listening and I'm taking notes. Just a lot of some of their stuff is going to come to us. So I do not want to compromise my position or the city's position during those meetings. You should have taken an example of that, and you should have been very well aware that you shouldn't have been questioning him like that. And also, when you were questioning him, you made the statement, you identified yourself as a council member, but said you were speaking as a member of the general public. Council member 101. Once you ID yourself as a council member, that's it. You're nothing else. That's all they see. You can't take it back and just say you're now general public. So I think you have a lot of things to work on, and we can't, Mr. King and them And his investors have now left. And you can bet the word is out that not to do business with Cascade Locks. You know, we have to work with the port, and we want to work with the port for the benefit of the city. There was a lot of questions that Mr. King needed to be answered, but we have to trust the process that we use for these projects to go forward. And for council people, we should not be interfering in their meetings, even if it's for general public. We just sit back, listen. And if the board wants us to be involved with it, they will ask us questions, or if it's something pertinent to the city. It's like some of the questions on the data center pipeline going into Herman Creek. Data centers recycle their water. They would probably use less water than Thunder Island. And who said it was going in, a pipeline would go into Thunder or to Herman Creek anyway? Why couldn't it have gone to the cove or out into the river like we do with the treatment plant? You guys were jumping at guns there for no reason. So I hope you can work to take advantage of this time before you become mayor to look at these issues. And then I want to say thanks to Litza for being here and presenting this. I hope we can find the money to give to her, because we want to provide all the opportunity we can in this city. I'd like to thank the EMS department, especially for me, because they hauled me off to the hospital. And I had my gallbladder removed. It was an interesting trip. I was in a lot of pain when they picked me up, but they jostled me enough in the ambulance getting me to the hospital that the pain went away. But it came back later. I also would like to thank our Public Works Department. This morning, we had a graveside service for Joyce Johnson, a longtime resident who passed away, and they were patient with the family and in helping them with the service there. And I always appreciate our Public Works people and all the hard work they do. And staff for preparing all of our materials. Thank you for that. And the Santa Social on December 4th, which is being sponsored by Cascade Locks Community Church and the Bible Fellowship Church. And the ladies here at City Hall who are doing all the hard work. I am not responsible for any of it. All I did was put Sandy placed in charge for the workhead from our church, so. And we also, I guess, got Gorgeous Beer is going to step up and do some supplying of some cookies, from what I heard. So, and the Best Western is also supporting it. So that it's coming back. Santa Claus will be here on December 4th at 3:10 on the fire truck. So that's all I got.
Pete, how about you?
All right. Well, hey, I just wanted to welcome Jordan, and for your first city council meeting, I felt like it ran really smoothly, and I'm not really fully aware of what the transition plan looks like between you and Gordon, but it just seemed like it's been a really smooth handoff, at least from this perspective, and the way you've taken the top issues that, from the Dry Creek, fire hydrant, all the issues we've been talking about. It's nice to know that they're not falling off the radar just because Gordon's not here. But I do want to make sure that Jordan is supported, and you're getting what you need, and if there's anything that any of us can do to help with your transition and into your new role, please let us know. So happy to have you.
Thank you. I did have a question for you. I wasn't expecting to not be in person. I guess it's for every council member. If you said you didn't get a packet?
It's probably sitting in my mailbox, and typically,
Posted online.
Yeah.
It's online.
Okay, well, yeah, just, if you guys aren't gonna make it, email us. That way we can email you one directly, so we know you got it.
It's on the agenda. If you look up Cascade Locks agendas and meetings, bring up city
Oh, yeah.
council, you do it, and it's all there.
I just wanna make your guys' job, your life as easy as possible, so.
all right, no, that's
And that way we know
information
you'll
that
be
I
on,
needed,
you'll be
so-
on Zoom.
That's how I.
Doesn't go the same way.
That's how I saw mine when I was in first.
And is the staff report on there too, Butch?
What's that?
Is the staff report on there as well?
Yeah, you go just, council meetings, city of Cascade Locks, and it'll show council, planning commission, tourism. You just hit the council, and then it'll give you a list of dates, for like almost the last 2 years. You go to
Right,
the
and-
bottom.
I guess I just want to clarify, the meeting minutes are there, the agenda's there, but the staff report is something that Gordon would send out via email. That's not,
Yeah,
Kathy
yeah.
just responded, that's not on there.
Yeah,
Yeah, he has, and my practice will be probably write it, a couple days before that Monday morning, just so it has the most updated information, because we posted online the week before, but I'll make sure I email it out to you.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks, Jordan, it's appreciated. And that's really all I've got. Just it feels almost selfish to say it was a long process, but we did spend a lot of time in executive session, reviewing candidates, interviewing people, and I know that the work to get your family relocated, it's nothing compared. It's what we've done is really nothing compared to what's required for your relocation, Jordan. But it's been a long haul to get you here, so it's just exciting to see it here for the first city council meeting.
Agreed.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Jeremiah?
I want to give thoughts and good wishes to Captain Tom. Fortunate not to see his face there. I think we all know he's got some medical stuff that he's going through, and so good wishes to him, and hoping that we see him back here soon and back to support as well. And then just a quick thank you and well done to Todd Moore from the Bible Fellowship Church. I don't know if you guys saw up front here, we had a vehicle that had started to camp out there and was having some trouble, and then it wound up having all the tires removed from it. It just kind of got progressively worse. And Todd at one point came to me at the port, and I said, yeah, let's let that kind of run its course. And he said, well, after work gets over, I'm going to go out there as part of the church to see what I can do. And sure as heck, we got to move down the road. So a shout out to him for taking that initiative and getting that done. That's all I got.
do you have an update on the stern wheeler?
I would probably defer to Olga on the stern wheel.
Okay.
She's here. She may have something to say, but I would defer to her.
Olga, do you have input on the stern wheeler?
We'll speak up and say we've had a Zoom update issue problem with the board, so this happened to me in the last meeting, I couldn't talk. Even though I'm muted, so,
All right.
oh, she can chat.
Nothing's popped up yet.
Maybe I should say a few words from the meeting, what I gathered then.
Oh, sorry, didn't get
Oh.
that.
Ask her again.
Yeah, Olga, we were asking about a update on the stern wheeler.
My microphone is not working, she says.
Yeah, I don't think it's even a microphone, it's
Yeah.
it's an IT issue, they were going through and fixing all of our computers today, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Olga.
All right, thank you.
All right, let me from what I heard at the last meeting on the stern wheeler was, I wanted you to give it, but
Sorry. Hard pass.
no, but the stern wheeler course is in Portland, and AWI will be using it until the end of the year. And they have a New Year's Eve cruise that they do. Then it will stay there until it goes into dry dock, because they don't want to bring it up here through March, because if it goes back down, the dam it's going to be closed. So they'll keep it down in Portland. They're going to try to find a place for it down there until it gets into dry dock, and then it'll come out, and then they'll be brought back here. And the port is working with ACL, American Cruise Line, on a 1-year contract to operate the stern wheeler. So it is not stopping operation, at least not foreseeably. But the port is still working to make sure the stern wheeler is active here.
All right,
What was that company name?
Huh?
What was that company name?
American Cruise Line.
all righty. My turn. So first of all, thank you to staff, always the packet, all the hard work and the notes and everything. Welcome, Jordan. It's a big learning curve, but I have confidence that you're gonna be great at it. Yes, definitely well wishes to Tom. It's not, that's just tough, medical challenges. Thank you to Yali as well for coming, and I think all of us want to support. We'll just find out where we are in the checkbook and figure that out. As far as comments that were made here tonight, I think it's always kind of a matter of perspective. And about the ethical issue is that what we were going through, it didn't feel ethical. I believe Kathy to be very ethical and the staff to be very ethical, but what was going on, what we're talking, didn't feel ethical. As far as the Stephen King, I think it's okay to ask questions. And even on my Zoom, it just said Kathy Fallon. It didn't say Kathy Fallon, city councilor. When the comment was made by Mr. King that it could change the water temperature, then I started asking questions on, was there an environmental study? Was there anything done? So there's no crime in asking questions. And I encourage people, if you don't know, ask a question. It's okay. As far as the cost to the city, half my brain was like, oh, this is great income for the city. The other half of my brain is, how environmentally is this going to impact the city? How many employees, all of those questions. And so I really want to encourage community, city council, if you have questions, ask them. It's okay if you honestly don't know and you're doing the questions respectfully. You're not yelling, screaming, nothing like that. You're being respectful. It's okay to ask questions. And there's always going to be differences of opinion, always. There always is. But as far as trusting the process, absolutely trusting the process, meaning following guidelines, following rules, and absolutely follow those. And in regards to the education with the LOC, it was an amazing training session over in Bend, attending those meetings. And I think you can always, with any job or any person, that you can continue to learn always. And it's just a never ending thing. One person says I know it all, but it's definitely, no one's perfect and we're gonna learn. But I really want to encourage everyone to operate above board, be ethical, be respectful towards one another, because ultimately at the end of the day, we all love Cascade locks. We all want a safe community. We all want the same things. We just may have a difference of opinions on how some things are communicated. And that's it. That's what I have to say.
One question. Did the election, is it final? Because according to what I can Google, this election's not over.
No,
December 5th.
Yeah, we won't get the
Yeah.
15th is when we get the next update, and then December, so.
5th is
Okay, I just
final.
wanted to make sure I was not missing something.
No,
Everyone's presuming it.
no.
Okay,
Nothing's official.
okay.
And then, for one last statement about the community picnic, we were budgeted 3,000. As you can see, we came under that. We came in at 2173.44. There is a $41 bill that we still need to pay. That was for propane from John, but all other receipts are in. So I was really happy we came under budget so much, and yeah,
but
strive to do that.
the one thing I just lacks, it says how much, $1,123.54 on the bank card, community picnic,
Mhm.
for what?
That's Costco.
Yeah,
But do you wanna know how many burgers were bought, how many packages
Well,
of cookies, or
no,
do
it's
you
like,
wanna itemize, or what's your question?
how much is left over from that? I mean, when you buy the hamburgers, are you buying packages of individual burgers, are you buying chubs? Of
If
10-pound chubs, or? You know, so how many chubs are left, or if you're buying packages of 10 prepared burgers, frozen burgers, how many packages of those are left?
So there wasn't, if you wanna know exactly, we can go over at a different time, but I'm not going to sit here and go how many packages of cookies we had left or burgers or whatever. I can tell you, we went through all the burgers and then some. Jeremiah had to go get more.
All right.
So, and I think we had like one package of sausages, some snacks left over, and as the previous year agreement, all of that went to the fire station. But in future, if you wanna know, then you could be involved in the grocery shopping and get that. So, but I'm not gonna get into a discussion on how many burgers were left. All I can say is that there was not a lot of excess at all. We did not overbuy. We actually, as you can see from the finances, that we underspent. So. All right. Get a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor? We need a roll call that?
No.
All right.
Consensus.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.